Small body, big potential. The untold story of Bilbo Baggins. For the people who do not know much about The Hobbit, it is a story about the man sitting next to me, Bilbo Baggins, and how he gets asked to go on an adventure by the wizard Gandalf. The goal of this adventure is to reclaim the lost land of the dwarves, and the dwarves' most prized possession, the Arkenstone. After going through many challenging tasks, like taking on the trolls, outsmarting goblins, and escaping giant spiders, they accomplished what they set out to do. Then Bilbo gives the Arkenstone to the elves in order to give them the needed leverage to restore peace between two nations. Then he returns to his old life and writes a book about these adventures. That's the story most of you all know, but here's the psychological aspect of it all. First question, how do you react to the opportunity to go on an adventure, and how do you feel this helps start the process of maturation? Was anything holding you back?
Well, I believe that the opportunity allowed my imagination to be rehabilitated while I learned about the journey. Yet my materialistic values at first prevented me from wanting to go on this.
Can you name a time where you remember where this occurred?
Well, when the wizard Gandalf, big beard wizard.
I know
Big Gandalf, okay?
Yeah.
He approached me, and I believe that there was really no purpose to his adventure. And I really couldn't understand what he meant by going on an adventure.
Well, now that you look back on that time, what would you criticize yourself on?
Well, I thought my life was great back then. I had everything. But the problem was, I felt it couldn't get better. I felt there was nothing to work towards, to go exploring on. All I had was my materialistic things. Now, what was really important about Gandalf was this call to adventure that he gave to me. And that was truly the adventure that I had.
How would you say your experience can apply to others starting their own adventures? And what do you feel is the toughest challenge that they must face?
Well, I will compare the start of a journey to a baby. It's untouched by society. But the thing is that as it grows up, it's grown into this corrupted society. And that's the biggest challenge with these journeys, is they have to overcome that corrupt society. And that was really the hardest part of my journey.
People believe that for someone to be successful on their journey, unforeseeable aid must come and allow that person to get through the tough times of those journeys. Would you agree? And in your case, what would be your examples?
Oh yeah, of course I agree. Everyone needs an aid. And for me, that aid came from Gandalf. Gandalf was amazing. He brought me out of my sheltered society and brought me into a world of adventure. Something that I could discover.
What does this aid do for everyone who decides to take the journey of maturity? And how would you compare the stage of the journey?
Well, the aid that was given to me was confidence. Confidence is needed by everyone. And that's what allowed me to go on this journey. I could compare it to the confidence given to you by your parents or your family, someone to give you that support, that realization that you can keep going on it. And that was the kind of confidence that was given into me.
When would this aid be used?
Well, it was used over the whole journey, but mostly during the road of trials.
Can you tell me about that time?
Of course I can tell you about the road of trials. It's when the person on the journey is leading themselves from their old value systems that they previously had. It also prevents them from facing these challenges ahead of time.
What does this isolation do?
Oh, it made the journey challenging. I mean, being alone, it's difficult to do all these things, but that's exactly what allowed me to grow because of all these unpredictable situations that I had to handle by myself.
What would be the next step in your adventure?
Well, the next step in my venture after gaining all this is trying to take it, retrieve it, and escape with the great boon, which is the main goal that I have for this journey. I'm trying to get back with it to have my knowledge and the increased maturity that I brought with it.
How would you compare this part of your journey to an average one?
Well, I'd compare it like an adult, because once you're an adult and you've created this value system, you have to make decisions and sacrifices based on that value system.
Why is the ability to make sacrifices important?
Well, because there's always going to be decisions, and there's going to be consequences from those decisions. And accepting and being willing to make sacrifices mean that you can make correct decisions that better not only you, but others.
When did you have to make a sacrifice?
Well, when I gave up the Arkenstone
Do that.
to obtain peace between two rival nations.
Interesting. What was the next part of your journey?
The return journey. After that, I had to head back home, and well, I tried to tell people my story.
What do you mean by you tried to?
Well, it didn't really get through because everyone was still so materialistic back there. For example, when I left, they thought I was dead, not on an adventure, and even though I was dead, they thought, instead of mourning me or anything, they just had a garage sale of all my stuff.
That's terrible.
You know, it was okay though. I accepted it because after changing my values and accepting that these materials weren't that important, they were really just a luxury and I didn't need them, so it was okay to let them go.
What did this process of looking back do for you?
Well, when I started reflecting on my adventure and contrasting it with some of my old experiences in the society that I've lived in, I realized that progress is important.
How would you relate this to other people?
I would consider this kind of like being an elder who has become accepting of his or her limitations and then coming to really appreciate everything else that life has to offer. This then compels that person to really attempt to relay that information because they want to give it to other people.
Thank you so much. Now for the big question. What is the overall message that you've learned throughout your journey?
The message that I gained, the message. You know, I learned that maturation is a vital aspect of life and can be obtained by overcoming mental and physical adversities that must be conquered in order to gain a more objective understanding of someone's purpose in society.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm different. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different.